very good morning. How are you guys? I hope that all are fine. So guys, in today's lecture series we will start 12th class political science. Guys, as you know that in 12th class in CBSE as well as state boards we have same pattern, and that is NCERT pattern. So the books are same for those state boards as well as CBSE boards. Guys, as you know that in 12th class political science there are the two books. The name of first book is the Contemporary World Politics, and that book is comprised of 7 chapters. The name of second book is the Politics in India Since Independence, and that book is comprised of 8 chapters. So we will start the book number 2, that is Politics in India Since Independence. We will start the chapter number 1, that is Challenges of Nation Building. Chapter number 1 is the Challenges of Nation Building. So guys, before moving to this chapter, let's discuss about what do we mean by the nation building. As we know that nation, what do we mean by nation? Nation means it is a psychological or emotional attachment, sentiment towards one's common language, culture, ethnicity, towards one's religion, and towards one's common territory, as we have in case of India. So these are some elements on the basis of which we can say that you belong to a particular territory and you can have a sentiment towards one's culture, language, religion, territory. For example, Israel is established on the basis of the common religion. And even some countries, like for example, still some nations, some people have been aspiring for a state. For example, the Kurds of the Middle East have been residing in Turkey, Syria, Iraq, Iran, but still they don't have a state, although they have common sentiment towards one's nation that we should have a common state. So this is we will discuss in another lecture about the difference between nation and state. But let's move to the chapter because we have to cover the whole chapter in today's this lecture. In nation building, we have discussed about what do you mean by nation building is a common psychological sentiment, attachment. Then let's move to the chapter. Guys, as we know that India got independence in 15th August 1947. At that time, our Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru delivered a speech. In that speech he proclaimed that India will march with destiny. He gave the title of that speech that tryst with destiny. What do you mean by tryst with destiny? It means Britishers left India by partitioning into India and Pakistan without any plan of development, without any administrative plan. That is tryst with destiny. भाग्य के साथ में हमारी यात्रा कहने का मतलब ये होता है कि हमारी भाग्य के साथ में यात्रा. तो tryst with destiny start हुई, and before moving to this chapter, let's move to the historical facts. As you know that in 1946 there was a cabinet mission plan that came to India, and Sir Stafford Cripps and A.V. Alexander and Sir Patrick Lawrence were the member of this cabinet mission plan. And according to this plan, there are some subjects like foreign relation, military, communication, telecommunications, and these kinds of subjects would be given to union, and other subjects would be delivered to the units or the states. So it was a weaker central government. It was a setup like a weaker central government or stronger units. And according to this plan, those states, including those states that were British provinces, these states would be grouped into 3 categories. Group 1 category would be the Hindu majority state like UP, CP, Bihar, Madras, Bombay, Odisha. These would be the Group A category states. Group B state would be the Muslim majority state like Sindh, Balochistan, and Jammu and Kashmir. And these would be the Group B states. And Group C would be comprised of Assam and Punjab. sorry, Punjab and Bengal. Those will be in group C. And so, according to the cabinet mission plan, it was not decided that would there be the compulsorily grouping or would it be voluntarily. So there was confusion at the time among the Indian National Congress and Muslim League. So Muslim League also rejected for the demand, also rejected the cabinet mission plan because the demand of Pakistan was not accepted in it. And Indian National Congress rejected this plan because there was a weak center and stronger state units, and also there was that the grouping of the state was proclaimed by this cabinet mission plan. Therefore, the Indian National Congress also rejected this demand of the cabinet mission. But as you know, that in 3 June 1947, 3 June 1947, there was a Mountbatten plan. According to 3 June plan, there would be the compulsory partition of India into India and Pakistan. In Punjab and Bengal, there would be the referendum by voting of those people residing in those districts of the Punjab and West Bengal. So, 3 June plan did put a stamp that India would be partitioned into India and Pakistan. So that was a brief historical facts of the Indian state formation and partition of India. Now let's move to the topic. As we thought, India and Pakistan were partitioned, and it was decided in July that a commission would be headed by Sir Cyril Radcliffe, and he would decide the boundary between India and Pakistan. He demarcated the boundary between India and Pakistan. So on 17th August 1947, he drew the boundary between India and Pakistan. That is also known as the Radcliffe line, that is drawn between India and Pakistan and India and Bangladesh. That boundary is the Radcliffe line. Now move to the chapter. India faced the three challenges. Three challenges India faced when it got independence. What were these challenges? First challenge was about the nation building. As you know that at the time India had 565 princely states, 11 British provinces and 4 chief commissioner provinces. So at that time these territories were fragmented, and there was no common sentiment. Even after partition, there was no common sentiment to belongingness towards one nation, that is India. That was India. That's why to shape the nation, to nurture the feeling and sentiment of nationalism was the first challenge before the independent India. Then second challenge was about to set up or establish the democratic system. As you know that in 1950, on 25th January 1950, election commission was established, and in 1951 and 1952, from October 1951 to February 1952, election was held in India at the time, general election, and at the time what were the challenges that we will study the second chapter. That is also in the same book, but we will study that the second challenge was about to establish a democratic system. As we know that at the time, approximately among the 17 crore voters, only 15% of people were the literate at that time. So you can imagine that what kind of the situation would have been there at that time. Now third challenge was about to ensure the development of entire sections of societies, not only a few sections. For example, when India got independent, then the majority of the land was controlled by the Zamindar at the time. So government of India, so the freedom fighters, they did set up a constitutional assembly, and in constitutional assembly we enacted our constitution. In their constitution that came into force from 26 January 1950, we enshrined the fundamental rights for the citizens, directive principle socio-economic rights. This is directive principle of state policies, DPSPs. That is socio-economic rights are also enshrined in that constitution. So that was the third challenge before the independent India. So these were the three challenges of first is that to shape the nation, second is that to establish democratic system, and third one is that third challenge was to ensure the development of the entire sections of societies. Now move to the, let's discuss about the partition, displacement and rehabilitation. That is second topic. Guys, we know that India and Pakistan were partitioned on the basis of the two nation theory. And who was the brainchild of this two nation theory? As we know that the founder of Aligarh Muslim University, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he can be considered the brainchild of two nation theory. When Congress was formed in 1885, just after that, in approximately around 1890s, then Sir Syed Ahmad Ali said that India is not the nation for the Hindus and Muslims. India, there are the different nation for India, Muslims and Hindus. So, and you know that at that time there was a principal whose name was Theodore Beck. He was a Britisher. It is considered that this principal coined the two nation theory, and he gave this two nation theory to the Syed Ahmad Ali Khan. But that theory was later shaped by the Muslim League and Muhammad Ali Jinnah. So generally it is considered that Sir Muhammad Ali Jinnah and Muslim League are considered the founder of the two nation theory, because it was nurtured by by Sir Muhammad Ali Jinnah and Muslim League. When we talk about the process of partition, when India got independence, just before that it was also decided that on 14th August Pakistan was also created. So there were the various problems, there were also challenges before that in this partitioning. What were the challenges? First challenge was that both territory of Pakistan, that is Eastern Pakistan and Western Pakistan, were not contiguous territories. Indian territory was located between both of these territory of Pakistan. So that was one challenge. Second problem was that even some Muslims rejected the demand for Pakistan. For example, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, he was a Pathan. He demanded for a Pathan state, and he is also known as a Khudai ki Ganga or Frontier Gandhi. He rejected for the demand of Pakistan. Then third problem was about we know that even within the Muslim majority area in Bengal and Punjab, there were the non-Muslim majority area of Hindus. That was the third problem, how to demarcate these non-Muslim majority areas. That was third challenge problem. Fourth problem was about that even in the Pakistan, there were some Hindus. When we talk about in India, there were the Muslims. So the migration of and the displacement of their ancestral land was another problem. So these were some challenges or problems in the partition. Now let's discuss about the consequences of partition. What were the consequences when India got partition between India and Pakistan? There were, for example, Lahore, Amritsar and Kolkata were considered as a communal zone, because maximum of the people migrated from India to Pakistan, Pakistan to India they belong to these two regions, from the Kolkata and to the Amritsar. Although some refugees from the Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, Rajasthan, Punjab also migrated to Pakistan. Those who were Muslims, and some Hindus from the Pakistan side fled to India and they settled there near the Lal Killa, Red Fort, that is in Delhi. So that first consequence was that the Kolkata and Amritsar became the communal zone. Second was that there was a division of herds, as a historian claimed that even the persons who had been residing in for centuries on their land, they had to migrate from their ancestral land and leaving their relatives in the same land where they were brought up and they nurtured. So they had to left due to this communal division. They had to migrate from due to this communal division. That was another consequence. And as we know that not only financial properties, assets or liabilities were divided, but also like some movable properties were divided, and even employees of bands of the police and the railway employees were also divided. And we know that at a time 80 lakh people were migrated and approximately 10 lakh people were killed at that time. Even you know that at the time 1951, 12% Muslims were there in India 1951. So the maximum Muslims migrated to Pakistan. And even there were the killings, murders, kidnappings, even some families got killed their family. They were the women for their honor, to preserve their honors of families. So these were consequences. And when we talk about this communal nature of partition, not only Muslim League but in Indian side there were some Hindu organizations that were demanding for the Hindu Rashtra, Hindu state. But as you know that the legacy of freedom fighters, they rejected their demand and they nurtured or they developed and they built up a secular India. And that also recognized the fundamental rights of right to religion. Article 25 to 28, the right freedom of religion was given to all the citizens irrespective of their language, religion, ethnicity. So these were consequences of the partition of India. Now there is another topic, that is integration of princely states. As we know that integration of princely state, let's study about, as we know that at that time when India got independence, what kind of setup was at that time? Administrative setup was there. As we know that in 1927, the British government established a commission. The name of that commission was Sir Butler Commission. That commission decided that if in the future, if India's political or administrative system would be decided, then the princely states views would be taken into consideration. The princely states would not be left on the basis of the fate of the British provinces in India, on the fate of the Indian leadership. So Butler Commission, as you know that princely state had British sovereignty. There is a difference between sovereignty and sovereignty. Sovereignty means the external control was externally these states were controlled by British government, but internally they kept the self control. They had autonomy. And when we talk about sovereignty means externally we are sovereign to take our decision. So when India got independence, at that time approximately 565 princely states were there, and 11 British provinces were there, and 4 chief commissioner provinces were there. Balochistan, Delhi, Coorg and Ajmer were the 4 British chief commissioner provinces. But so Balochistan went to the Pakistan, it was merged with Pakistan, but other territories were kept with Indian territory. So first problem was that how to integrate these princely states. At that time, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who was the Deputy Prime Minister or the Home Minister of India, his secretary was V.P. Menon. They were considered as Sardar Patel is considered the Iron Man of India, and V.P. Menon played a vital role in integration of India. So several states like Travancore, Bhopal and Hyderabad, Junagadh Jammu and Kashmir, Manipur, these states are rejected for the merger of the Indian Union. But due to diplomatic pressure of V.P. Menon and Sardar Patel, some states merged before the independence. But some states like Junagadh, Jammu and Kashmir, Hyderabad and Manipur were contested at the time, and they did not want to merge with India. So let's start one by one states. First state is Hyderabad. As you know that Hyderabad, there was a dynastic rule of Nizam. The ruler is called as a Nizam. The last Nizam is Mir Usman Ali, and he declared that he will not join the Indian government, Indian Union after independence. So he signed a standstill agreement with government of India at that time. But you know that there were some peasants at that time, peasant and the Communist Party of India at that time, member of Communist Party, they wanted to merge with India, so the peasant movement started there in Hyderabad. In the revenge or to control them, Mir Usman Ali established a paramilitary force, or that was also considered a communal or paramilitary force, that is a Razakars. That was the Razakar. That army created the paramilitary created chaos in the Hyderabad, that killed and murdered several peoples of the India at that time in Hyderabad, including there was an allegation that this paramilitaries killed to the Hindus majorly. So Indian government launched the Operation Polo Mission under the leadership of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and in 1948 the Nizam Mir Usman Ali surrendered before the government of India, and Hyderabad was merged with the government of India. Now let's talk about the second state, that is the Manipur. As you know that just before independence, Manipur signed an instrument of accession with the government of India, and in 1948 there was a constituent assembly, there was a legislative assembly election in Manipur. So Manipur became the constitutional monarchical state in 1948, and it was the first state that before, just after independence, it held the elections on basis of universal adult franchise. But even within the Manipur, there was a division between among the Congress members and the non-Congress members and the non-Congress political parties. So in 1949, in September 1949, Indian government merged the Manipur with the diplomatic persuasion of the Maharaja Bhoj Chandra Singh. He was the king at that time. So Maharaja Bhoj Chandra Singh signed the merger agreement with Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and maximum non-Muslim, non-Congress political parties, except the Congress, other parties did not wanted to merge with India, and that challenge is still being faced by the government of India. Recently, we know that in Manipur there were the killings and murders, and there were the communal riots in the Manipur among the Meitei, Kuki Meiteis and Meiteis and the Naga tribals. Still, that merger agreements constitution still being faced by the government of India. So that was the second state that was merged with the government of India in 1949. Now let's move to the last topic, that is the reorganization of states. Guys, you should know that when we talk about the Indian reorganization of states, so the issue of the reorganization of the Indian Union Territory started in 1952. As you know that in 1920, Indian National Congress session, in Indian National Congress it was decided that the Congress provincial committee would be based on the linguistic criteria. So the Congress categorized its the provincial units on the basis of language. But as you know that when India got independence, so India and Pakistan were partitioned to national consolidation was the main priority before India. So in that first challenge before the India for the reorganized state started in 1952. In 1952, there was a person who was earlier he was member of the Congress. He was a member of Congress. Name of that person was Potti Sriramallu. He belonged to Andhra Pradesh. As you know that before 1953, Andhra Pradesh was the part of the Madras territory. Even some areas of Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana were the part of the Madras territory. So in 1952, he launched the hunger strike, and that hunger he started from 19 October to 20 December, and his hunger strike went on for 58 days. Guys, in your book this is written that his hunger strike was for 56 days. It is not the right. His hunger strike went on for 58 days, and he died. Therefore, Government of India declared there was a demonstration and the movement was created in Andhra Pradesh state. So, Government of India declared that separate Andhra Pradesh would be created by the bifurcating the some part of Andhra Pradesh from Madras and some area of the Telangana. So in 1953, 1st October 1953, the Manipur was Andhra Pradesh was created as a separate state. After that, once the Andhra Pradesh was created, there were the various demands from throughout the India. So in 1956, for the creation of state on the basis of the language, so in 1956, a commission that is also named the first state reorganization commission, headed by Faisal Ali, and the member of that commission were the Ardinath Kujru and Sardar K. M. Panikar. Sir, at that time Faisal Ali headed that commission. In 1953, that commission was established and it gave its report in 1955, and its report was implemented in 1956. According to that commission, the language should not only be given the priority for the bifurcation of the states, but administrative efficiency and the administrative and financial efficiency should also be given the priority. But that commission accepted the demand of the state on the basis of the linguistic criteria. So in 1956, on 1st November 1956, 14 states and 6 UTs were created on the basis of the languages. After that, various states, even in Bombay, at that time it was named Bombay, it launched the strike. Then Maharashtra Ekikaran Samiti, and in Gujarat also, they demanded for merger of the Bombay with Gujarat, and Marathi people demanded for the merger of Bombay with Maharashtra. So in 1960, Maharashtra, Bombay, at the time which was called, at present it is called the Mumbai. So Bombay was merged with the Maharashtra, and Gujarat and Maharashtra were created two separate states. In 1963, Nagaland was created. After that, in 1972, 3 states, Tripura, Manipur and Meghalaya were created. In 1975, the Sikkim was created. That was also a monarchical state under the Chogyal dynasty, so it was also created. In 1975, as you know that, in 1966, the Punjab and Haryana were bifurcated to separate states. And in 1972, Himachal Pradesh, that earlier was a UT, it was created as a state by separating some hill state from Punjab. So Himachal was created in 1972. Then in 1987, Arunachal Pradesh and Goa, Mizoram were created. And in 2000, 3 states, new states from Madhya Pradesh, from Bihar and from the Uttar Pradesh were created, that are named as from the UP, Uttarakhand, Uttaranchal was created, from the Bihar, Jharkhand was created, carved out, and from the Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh was carved out. These were the tribal state, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh. And this state, after 2000, the nature of states reorganized, changed from the linguistic criteria to the administrative efficiency and financial efficiency. As we know that this is the tribals development was not occurring in those states, so the tribals demand for separate states because the maximum funds were not going to those tribals. States schemes were not being delivered at that time. That's why they demanded for separate states. And last state, that is the Telangana, that was created from Andhra Pradesh in 2014, and even some UTs like Dadar Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu, they were integrated as a common UT. And in 2019 and then Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh were created two separate UTs. So at present in India, when we talk about the Indian map, so at present in India there are 28 states and 8 union territories. And still there is a demand going on for the new states. For example, in Maharashtra there is a demand for Vidarbha state, in UP there is a demand for Harit Pradesh, Purvanchal, Bundelkhand, and in Rajasthan there is a demand for Muru Pradesh. So still the state, and even in the issue of the separation is still going on in India, because India is still a nation state in developing, because although issue of the Jammu and Kashmir has been dealt strongly with the abolition of Article 370, but in Nagaland the issue of separation of secession has still been going on. So Nagaland is still a challenge before India. Although government has appointed various interlocutors, for example R.N. Ravi, who is presently the governor. So he was appointed as an interlocutor on Naga issue in 2015, but that issue is still not being resolved. So these are issues of the challenges of nation building in India, and still India is a nation in building, nation in developing. So guys, ये issue the chapter आपको कैसा लगा? If you find it valuable for your examination, so please like, subscribe and share to your friends, and please subscribe to DSP Academy of Current Affairs. तब तक के लिए thank you, धन्यवाद.